Pegi 18. starts to scream. You can feel it in the air. Electric energy. We're revving up our engines, and the dam's about to burst. I've just got a couple of emails that I need to knock out first. We're all backstage, about to start the show. Just gotta do a few things, then we're ready to go. So get ready to be ready, to get ready, 'cause we're almost about to rock. We're gonna make you scream eventually. Just wait and see. Now get ready to be ready, to get ready. We'll be on stage in a second. Just a few things we gotta do. Gotta make the set list, wash the guitars, raid the entire crew. Gonna play with all my Legos, then we'll eat some snacks. Drop Ninja Brian off of his Brazilian wax. Drink some gas so we can play real fast. And then you better hold on to all of your ass. We're gonna crush this show, just a few more steps. Nothing says rock like meticulous prep. So get ready to be ready, to get ready, 'cause we're almost about to rock. We're gonna chill your spine and blow your mind all into time. Now get ready to be ready, to get ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to get fucking destroyed? We are nearly prepared to begin preparations for our final sound check of the evening, so please file out of the auditorium while we reset the stage. Thank you.
For those about to rock, please hang tight while I find my socks. Gonna crack your skull like an aftershock. Just gotta call my broker and sell some stock. So get ready to be ready, to get ready, 'cause we're almost about to rock. We're gonna melt your face through time and space at an appropriate pace. Get ready to be ready, to get ready. Now get ready to be ready, to get ready. Now be ready to be ready, to get ready.
Oh, she's 2D? Lois? Spin around.
A Oh. Hey. What's up? So, you can't sleep either. Or you're in like a European country or something. What's up? I'm back. Or I should say, my back. Hope everyone's doing good. Terraria was fun. I had a good time playing that. But, obviously, we're back. And we're gonna do some art. We're gonna draw for a little bit. I want to get some ideas out, and yeah, it's the plan. Until I zonk out. This is the ramifications of what happens when I drink coffee. Because here's the fun fact: I haven't had coffee since I got it on stream the other day. Right? Still killing me. I have been insomniated this whole time. Yeah. I have maybe gotten 3 hours of sleep, and I still have energy. I think this is a problem, but that's okay. That's all right. Before we get started, though, I would like to acknowledge the changes that I made to the model in the very brief window between Terraria ending and this stream starting, which is I now have a mouth over here. I know that's not what you're looking at, but, you know, it's over there. And then also on top of that, I fixed it. Only time I'm ever gonna be like shaking my ass on screen. I fixed my butt, so it doesn't have white no more when I move around. It was a very simple fix, but it's been fixed. And now obviously I will remain as teacher for the remainder of tonight's after hours stream because I put a lot of work into making this look nice. And fuck you. I mean, not fuck you, but like fuck you. You know what I mean? Like an aggressive. Shut up. It's late, and I'm not tired, so there's something wrong with me. But, for those who weren't here during the Terraria stream, or at least the start of the Terraria stream, where I even talked about this, what is it? I had an idea last night for release, and I wanted to try it. But we're going to be able to also work on Paladin again very soon. Actually, I found out during the break that whether I wanted to or not, Adobe charged me. So, fun. Thanks, Adobe. Fucking assholes. I was going to wait until, like, you know, the end, like, a few days from now, but whatever. It's fine. It's cool. Fucking Adobe. So Paladin's back on the menu. As much as I want to finish the level 1 comic idea, we'll probably be working on that a little bit tomorrow/today, as it is 2 a.m. my time currently. So whenever I wake up, we'll probably keep working on that. Yes, fuck Adobe, but don't fuck Adobe. You get it. You get it. You get it. But yeah, we're like, I don't know, what? We're like 3 pages in to the comic. I only need like another 2, which I can probably do tomorrow if I, you know, am diligent and don't rant for like 7 hours again, like I did last time. It's a real bad habit that keeps happening. Maybe I should and get a coffee. There was an int at the end of the should. But yeah, this is just, you know, low committance, fun little after hours, just to draw for a little bit, you know, just to hang out. And clearly you guys are still awake for some fucking odd ass reason, but hey, that's cool. I got nothing better to do. You got nothing better to do. Clearly sleep ain't the fucking thing on your docket, so hey. But I am going to try to keep this, like, cool and calm. I'm not going to play too many, like, rock tracks or anything. I'm going to try my best not to scream, too. Even though I can scream at night, I'm going to try and keep it relaxed. So for anybody that wants to be weird and fall asleep to me drawing, you can, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm gonna try and keep that in mind as I work. So feel comfortable doing that, I guess. And let's do. I kind of want Evantris. I want their OST. Yeah, I want like that. I still want it to be like a little peppy, but not super duper peppy. So let's do Talons. Talons might be good. Let's see. You know what? No, not Evantris. Let's do Chill. Let's do Chill. Let's do a classic. Black Hill and Silent Island. Let's do that. I've listened to them before. I really, really like this album. Yeah. This brings back memories. And Rivers and Shores is another one. Here, for anybody that really likes this album, there you go. Listen to it on your own time when you want. But we're gonna hang on. We're gonna vibe. No, Anya, it's different if you fall asleep to it because it goes on long. It's another thing to put on the content specifically to be like, I'm gonna go to sleep to this now. Because I put on stuff when I go to sleep. I put on like, what is it? Well, I actually used to fall asleep to this. And you know Black Hill? Hell yeah. No, I've been listening to them for like years at this point. Like since like 2018, I want to say. Yeah, actually, I remember when this was new. And the channel that it's posted to, World Has Post Rock, I've been subscribed to them for like ever. But like I'll go to sleep to this occasionally. And their other album too, Rivers and Shores. I'll listen to that occasionally. And then the other night I went to bed listening to some sort of video. I don't know what it was, but I was watching something. Anyways, drawing or whatever, right? Boom. So I have like a decent idea. I think, okay, so me talkie for second is that the problem that I have with Elise for the most part is, how do I put it? I can put her in any outfit and she'll look good. That sounds weird, right? That might sound to some people like, oh no, my steak is too juicy. And my potatoes are too delicious, right? But it becomes another problem when it's like, well, she can look really good in an outfit, sure. But can I get a weapon that like matches that vibe? You know what I mean? That's usually my big problem, right? Because I can do, I think some of us at least might remember her like main outfit for like a really long period of time, which was like the like really baggy pants like this, and then she had like the jacket. I did a film with this outfit, so some people might recognize it. This is what she looked like in Vanguard specifically. Right? And I actually really like this outfit. I like it a lot, but the difficulty with it is that I don't know how to give her like a weapon that makes sense. You know? And another thing too is I like to keep my weapons very simple. I don't like to do over the top crazy designs and things for weapons because I tend to draw them a lot. I'm also kind of a stickler for like, for lack of a better way to put it, like realism, but not realism because of realism. It's like fantasy realism, I guess. It's the difference between, you know, designing like a sword that looks like, you know, looks something like this, and then a sword that looks like this, right? I would 9 times out of 10 prefer this over this. I don't like this. I like this. Me don't like this. Like this, no this. Right? Maybe? But the problem is especially with weapons too, in general, there's so much that you can do to a design or like a weapon design where it starts like leaning away from where you want it to be. This is what I've been thinking about pretty much all day, actually. Because the direction we're going to take her is pretty much doing this again, but just giving her a midriff and like opening up her arms. That's kind of all we're doing. I mean, like a little bit of a change to the pants to a degree, but like for the most part, we're just kind of opening this up quite a bit here. Obviously, this is just like a first little pass, right? But we're just going to give her... I mean, she won't be that juiced, but she'll be kind of juiced. Like that. We'll give her 2 ears. We'll put little goggles on her forehead. Cover one side, because that's cute. Keep that ponytail that we've been doing. I've actually been really enjoying her with the ponytail. I think it's kind of cute as well. Again, very, very simple. She's even got like the bubbly personality to match it. She's already got this kind of like down to earth-ish color palette, so it's not too much of an effect. I'm gonna give her like these little like suspender looking things. And that's pretty much it. This is the idea that's been kicking around in my head all day, pretty much, right? Nothing super crazy. Maybe a little bit more detail up here on the top a bit. And of course a choker. She's always wearing a choker. And I think I would give her like little arm wraps. And then you could see like underneath her like undershirt, but she's not wearing an undershirt. Her tummy is just like out. And then a big old boom. Right? That looks pretty great. You know what? I'll even throw in like a second belt. I'll do like a little bit of a Final Fantasy VII thing. Where it's basically the like Cloud's outfit, but like without the little up girdle that goes up the tum-tum. Something like this, right? Now, the problem with this is that it's good. It's very good. This is good. It's appealing. It's got oomph. It's got shape. It's got you know, it's got stuff. But the problem comes in of what the fuck does she hold as a tool? As her weapon. So that's like the main thing I gotta focus on. But I already have a few passing ideas, but the problem with them is that if I reference them too heavily, they become a separate issue of they're from Final Fantasy. And as much as I love stealing designs, a la basically stealing Kai's gunblade, I need to manage what I'm doing while also at the same time what's the word for it? I need to not steal so much that people are gonna look at it and go, hey, but also I can't change it too much either. For reasons. They're not good reasons, they're just reasons. But also, again, furthermore, is kind of keeping in line with this design that she's got going on, is that I don't... Alright, she's getting a gunblade. 100%, alright? She's gonna have a gunblade in her dumb little hand. It's gonna happen. But here's the problem with gunblades. Is that you go down two different routes. One, you have the revolver, right? A little revolver, and then you strap a knife to it. That's Gunblade 1. Right? This is like the main thing that you're gonna see if you Google Gunblades, right? And then you go the full opposite spectrum, which is like big giant like sci-fi sword with all these like little weebles on them and like all this other shit. somewhere with like a revolver chamber mixed in, right? Like a bunch of little gweebles, and then like some stupid little handle, right? And that's what it's gonna turn into. And that's your spectrum of gunblades right there, right? There is no in between. You either go more gun with a little bit of sword, or more sword with little bit of gun. Right? And the more that you go sword, oddly enough, the more sci-fi it gets. But the more you go gun, the more Western it gets. Isn't that weird? Something like Ezra's first lightsaber? No, that's stupid, and I hate that. Because I'm sorry, I have to make a stance on that. I have to. If you take a gun, right, like a gun, and it's shaped like that, and then you go swoop, that's stupid. That's so dumb. Why'd you do that? Who does this? This is the dumbest fucking thing imaginable. Like, I'm being so for real. This is the stupidest design. Because you know what? Hey, check this out. What if you just, I don't know, gun? Like, I'm not, okay, because this gets into this entirely different conversation, right? About like guns versus swords. I'm sorry. A gun is going to win a fucking sword fight 9 times out of 10. All right? I'm not delusional. I'm not stupid. I'm not Mac over. Hold on. Can I pull up the clip? Sunny in Philly, gun. No, not that one. Not this one. Here it is. Zigzag.
Demonstrate to you how to thwart an attack. Now pretend that this dummy is a school shooter.
Right.
I want you to stand back because I don't want you to get hurt. Before he can draw his weapon. Hi, up, hot, hi. How awesome was that?
Well, yeah, that's pretty awesome, but I feel like he would have shot you from a mile away.
No, he wouldn't, because you saw how I was zigzagging like this and making sounds. It was distracting.
Yeah, but did you ever see Indiana Jones where the guy does the whole sword thing, then he just shoots him dead?
Are you asking me if I've seen Indiana Jones? Are you seriously asking me? I've seen that movie. That is, you're not understanding.
Remember it?
Yes, but if I were to come at you, it's all about how I... Okay, in that circumstance, maybe you got there a little bit faster.
I got you again.
What if I zigzag like this?
It's
That's-
so easy.
It's so easy. Case point, right? No, why that isn't weird. Most practical gun blades IRL are and were revolvers, since after shooting your 6 shots, you still have a knife now. The scythe of putting a... Do you mean the science? They were made in history. Bigger ones, like the one below, were never made. Biggest were like short and long swords, not giant slabs of metal. What? Are you talking about this one? Yeah, this one's like real. This one's like the sci-fi design thing made by like a high schooler. Do you not think I know that? Also, too, as well, like gun swords have kind of always been like a thing. Like for as long as swords and guns have been a thing, they've been trying to combine both of them together. Putting the blade upright on a pistol is like... Oh, yeah, okay. But you want to know, like, one of the best gun swords in all of history? It's not even a sword. It's a fucking spear. Bayonets. We've had bayonets forever. You take a rifle, you put a knife at the end of it. Congratulations, you now have a spear. You're out of bullets, you still have a spear. You get to stab people with it. And frankly, this is stupid. This is really dumb. Right? Because if you hold a gun, right? We're getting wildly off topic, but hey, it's a Sydney Belladonna stream. If you have a gun, right? This is your shooty gun, right? That's where your finger's gonna go, that's where your hand's gonna go, right? That makes sense for you to hold out your hand like that, right? And you're gonna go bang, bang. Good job. Now add a knife to the end of it. 1, it gets weighed down. The weight's different. 2, if you try cutting with like this hammer sort of grip, that shit sucks ass. That shit's like miserable. You know what this is better as? Stabbies. This is better to stabby with. This is a better position to stabby with. But then you would kind of want like your handle a bit more like this. You want it more like back here. Right? Oh, but you're already like out here with your little pistol and you just have like a knife. Why not just like, I don't know, carry a knife? Like have both a knife and a gun. You can have both. It's allowed. Crazy that like a knife that's like designed to be a stabby implement and can be like held comfortably in a hand and be comfortably used is better than combining together two things that, you know, are like, okay. This no work. This no work. People make them, yeah, but there's a reason they don't like persist through history. If anything, some of the best gun blades out there, ironically enough, is this. No, I'm like oddly enough not kidding. As much as I hate this design in like fantasy, a knife and a gun. No, I'm giving her a gun. So okay, we're conflating two topics right now, and it seems like I need to get everybody on the same page here. Right? This is not a gun sword. It is a sword that has gun parts on it. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I gotta edumacate you guys. Hold on. We gotta edumacate. We're edumacating. I'm a teacher. I'm gonna do my job for a second, okay? We're gonna edumacate. Hold on. I'm edumacating. I'm not edging, just edumacating. You should already know. You should already know. You should already know. Hello, little me. Come on, little me. We gotta teach these kids. We gotta teach them how gunblades work in a fantasy setting. Because these kids be thinking I'm trying to have her shoot bullets. I ain't trying to do that. Let me in. Let me in! What if I show you my butt? Oh, it worked. Let me in. Here we go. All right. Go, my little legs. Go, my little legs. Go! Run! You must! Sprint! Go! Charge forth, tiny child! Okay. So in Final Fantasy XIV, there's a class called Gunbreaker, where you get a gun sword. This is literally the design I am going to attempt to steal. That sword right there, this one on my back is the one I'm about to attempt to steal, but I'm going to need to change it up a little bit. Here's the thing about Final Fantasy XIV's gunblades. Maybe you noticed something specifically about, if I like walk. Maybe you'll notice something about the barrel, not the barrel, the chamber where the like bullets are in. They don't really go anywhere or shoot anything, right? They don't shoot bullets. It has shells, sure, but it don't shoot bullets. Do you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because these are cartridges that hold mana and magic, because it means that you can then go magic. You can go magic. You can go magic. You can go magic. You can even go magic. I can't do faded circle, can I? See, magic. I'm shooting slashes out of gun. Oh, this Super Bolide's a good example. Right? I shoot magic out of gun. I shoot shield. I shoot Healy button. Like a light. There you go. I should have led with that, honestly. And here's okay. We're gonna go in here. I'm gonna show you what's like the easiest way to show. Where's my Gunbreaker outfit to begin with? There it is. I'm gonna go up to Gunbreaker. See, this is what I was talking about when I was saying Gweebles, right? Eventually you hit a point where it's just stupid. Right? This just hits a point of what the fuck is half of this ergonomic design? Like, what is this? This is dumb. You want to see what's even dumber? This one. This one is so stupid. I love the effect on this gun. I love the effect on this gun. I hate the fucking chamber. What is this? This is so ginormous. It's even worse on like actual like humanoid characters, not Lalafels, because it's like reasonably sized here. It looks so dumb on regular characters. This is when you start getting into the more sci-fi sleek angle of what you're looking at. But once again, you can see that we have the revolver chamber thing here, right? It got nowhere it go. It got nowhere to shoot. It just chamber. Right? But then we got this one. The fuck is even a vat? What is this? Look how much blade there is compared to other bullshit. I hate this weapon. How about this one? This is a gun blade. You can see a trigger right there. It's got a trigger. Where does it shoot bullets out of? Probably out of the front, even though there's no place for it to shoot out the front. How about this one? Look at this stupid shit. Where the fuck is that supposed to go? What is this? That doesn't even look like it moves. It just looks like it's part of the decoration. This one was like my favorite for a really long time. But look at the trigger. If that's even the trigger. I don't know what that is. That looks sharp and like it would hurt your hand. And like you wouldn't want to put your hand there. And then we got the sci-fi. I like this one though. It folds up into a box. See that? Turns into like a little box. And then you draw it and then it opens. It's like cool. I like that one. This one's just on fire. Right? And then you got this one. This one has a hole for the bullet to go out of. Which is weird. But it do that. I don't like this one either. Same thing with this one. Where bullet go? Bullet no go forward because it have no bullet. But I like this one. I like that it's gold. Actually, this goes... I actually kind of want... I actually kind of dig that with my outfit, frankly. It's not too bad. I'm gonna save that and I'm gonna apply it. Yeah, that works surprisingly well together, actually. With the gold and the white. I really dig that. Does that have a second dye channel? If I second dye channel it, is it going to get rid of the gold? Oh no, it's the white. Oh no, because I'm... Okay, it does get rid of the gold. No. No, but I like that. Oh, but I like this. This is nice. But see, this is hitting like a sci-fi angle, right? It's too sleek. It's too clean. It's too nice. I need it to be like a little dirtier. You know, I need it to be like a little less sleek. But this one could also work. I feel like this one could actually kind of work for Al. I feel like this one wouldn't be too bad. But I don't know. Oh, I'm not trying to log out, just trying to exit game. Also, we have Signalis playing now? I wanted this one. Pale Knight. I do remember how it looks. Let me pull it back up. I'll actually go grab it. Boop. Pale Knight. Why is it P? Actually, if I can get like a good high-res version of it. The Pale Knight's actually not bad. Now it does do the stupid. But that makes sense for Lies of P. But like this isn't bad. I like this a lot actually. But what I will say is that it lacks one thing, and that is, oddly enough, the greebles. If you wanna put it on like our scale, right? Our gun sword scale. Because I do like this design a lot. I would say this leans more like over here, right? It's closer to the Western style because it quite literally is just gun with a blade strapped to it. You can even see like the similarity here. But it turned its handle over. It's like a nice combination of the two. Right? Also, I don't know why I'm still holding that. But it's missing the greebles. Or barrels on both sides of the blade. Okay, that's stupid. Now that gets a little dumb. Also, I will never understand why they cut out like a little section here, like they do like a blood groove. Like the bullet is going to like slide out. That's stupid. It's kind of dumb. I love how this was like the easiest part. Now this shit's the bullshit. I am gonna go try and find that design though, the one from 14. I'm gonna trace it. But like with purpose, not with the intent to steal. Come on, someone's gotta have it. Someone's gotta have it. I mean, there's this one. I wanted to grab this one. So we'll wiggle and paste that one. I like this one. Crown's Guard is like one of my favorite designs. This has like such a healthy amount of like greebles. I keep saying greebles. Also, hi Raymond. This is like a healthy amount of the gribbles. Because like this feels like it has more going on for it than just slapping a barrel on it. You know what I mean? Like this is okay. But then if we go, I gotta find the other one. I would do Lionheart, not the one from 8, but the one from 14. But that one's just Thancred's sword, so I can't do it. That's the one thing that real pissed me off. Was that when Gunbreaker first came out in Shadowbringers, it was revealed with Thancred, who got to be the like picture perfect Gunbreaker. But of course he got to wear the job outfit, dyed it white, and then also got the job weapon too. And so I, who had been going with like a white jacket and also was like a big fan of Squall, was like, hey, you're stealing my look, dude. Can I get that back, please? And he said, no, go fuck yourself. And I was like, oh, okay. What a dickhead. I cannot find it. Oh, this is another good one, but this one kind of leans more up to this one. See this? Another Final Fantasy design. But this one also has, like, the barrel. But do you see how stupid this is for a second? Do you see how, like, the chamber is, like, tilted? And then the barrel's straight with the rest of the blade. But this is actually, like, a hold barrel. Like, this is an actual proper, like, shooty shoot bit. Right? Which is really dumb. But I don't hate this one. But it's too thin. It feels too much like they took like a repeater and turned it into a gun sword. We might come back to this later, but like with additional greebles. I feel like some additional greebles would benefit such a thing. I can't find it. Maybe that's a blessing. Oh no, it's right there. Can I get like a good... This looks like the best we're gonna get. Right? Ow. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hop in here and I'm gonna trace this bitch. I'm gonna trace it. Watch my trace. Here I go. Oh boy, here I go tracing again. Actually, this is a good time for people to learn how I trace, because I trace very specifically. That's all it goes right there. This is rough to get these like spots right. Right, that's where our little chamber is. Also, by the way, if you're having a conniption over me calling parts of a gun the wrong part of a gun, that's okay. I am a swords person, not a guns person, so I do not know jack diddly about guns, so I will say dumb shit sometimes. I'm gonna try to actually keep that as close to as possible. All right. Now I do like this little opening down here, so I am going to keep this. And I do like the edge of this, so I will also keep this. I'm not a big fan of this open section, so I'm not going to keep that, but I will keep this little, like, whoop, that happens here. And I feel like maintaining this kind of shape here is probably a good idea. Kind of like that shape too. And then of course I like the little like grooves that show up on barrels. I actually owned an airsoft revolver for a little while. I say that like it was a big thing. Like I literally bought a revolver specifically to kind of like study it. I do like this shape here. And then this has like a guard around the outside of it. And then it also has like a finish around the handle like that. That just gives that like a bit more body to it. I'm not gonna touch here. Alright, I'm gonna flip it, spin it. That's not a bad looking little toy there, right? But it's got some like jank to it that I'm not like a big fan of, so I'm gonna try to fix it. While also trying to like maintain the bits that I actually kind of enjoy. Blip. I am gonna cut this down here. I'm just gonna kind of combine both of it, like there and there. Actually, that little sharpness, this little back sharpness thing that happens here kind of helps with the shape a little bit, oddly enough. So I don't hate it. I'm gonna probably keep that, actually. Actually, kind of want this to be like matte back here, so like this can go like that. This will sit over that. And then I would kind of prefer maybe something a bit more like this. Not super duper thick, but just like, again, I'm really coasting through here. Like that. Just give it that much of a like a knife-ish cut. Have it go about there, maybe? That's not too bad. But I would like this part to kind of all be like one piece. I feel like that'd be kind of cool. That. I'd let this come out just like a little bit here. So this way it kind of sits over it. So it gives it like just that much more I don't know what the word is, but like a shape. And then, of course, barrel gets to go there. Gets to rotate in like that. And I'm kind of thinking I want to take this guard back here and just kind of move it up. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take the handle itself. Nothing more than that. Genuinely nothing more than that, I don't think. I'm just gonna take that and we're gonna go spoop. Just kind of shrink it up a little bit. I want it to have like a little bit of a difference here. That might just be good. Like this. And then I wouldn't mind some kind of handguard here. I am going for like a single-edged blade. Usually Elise doesn't get one, but... And you know what? The more I look at it, the more I feel like a thinner tip for the blade would actually be pretty good. So I think maybe after all, I do this kind of shape, but I keep it going in to this part, right? Just like that. I'm gonna take this whole top part there. We'll worry about this centery bit in a second. Maybe like a little divot right here. No different than how it is there. But this can be where the like trigger gets to sit. And then some kind of like little wrap. If I get rid of this for a sec. Maybe if I thin this out a little bit more. No. Actually, yes, but the other way around. If I do that. And then I want like an inlay. Just like old times. I do want it to be clear that like the blade part is separated from this part here. But like give that like a little spinny thing. Probably. I don't know, whatever's cool. That's how I used to do it back in the day. See, now this can look all well and good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink it up. Pull back this. Shrink it down. Shove it in her little hand. Now remember that thing that I said about that her design can look good, but that doesn't matter if I can't get the weapon to match? That isn't a problem of getting the weapon to also look good. That is a problem of getting the weapon to, again, match. Am I tired? Not at all. That actually doesn't look too bad next to her. I do think I still want to get rid of that, like, little nubbin that happens there. To keep that shape. That's not too bad. I don't know, I feel like we could find one that works better. I feel like the Gweeble. In case it's not obvious, I just enjoy saying the word Gweeble. Alright, I'll post that, leave it on its own, and now we're gonna do Crown's Guard. Because I actually really like Crown's Guard. I think Crown's Guard is one of my favorite, I said it before, but it's like one of my favorite designs. We'll see if we can't get this one to work. Again, tracing with purpose. This looks like somebody else's render. It's not like one-to-one from the game. That's a weird question. Don't worry, Anya, you're fine. But sometimes when it comes to designing stuff, those questions are going to hinder you more than they're going to help you. I don't really like this little chambery thing up here. This one also has like a lot more intricate details in this like guard area. Do you know what suspension of disbelief is? You're probably going to say yes. Actually, this kind of goes back to the thing that we were talking about way earlier while we were doing Terraria specifically, was when I was talking about Star Wars, right? And lightsabers. If you were to go and say, all right, I'm going to design a handle for a sci-fi weapon, right? You're going to go design a sci-fi weapon handle. And you're gonna Google it. You're gonna go sci-fi weapon sword. I'm gonna pull that up. You're probably gonna find things like this, right? This is just a sword with some greebles on it, right? Or you could even do something like this. Again, sword, very simple, but these are like really easy, totally normal handles, right? These are totally nothing crazy. These don't look super uncomfortable to even hold, right? But the thing with these is that they're all designed to be very sleek and very what's the way to put it? Very clean, very clean designs overall. And you'll notice this quite a lot in a lot of like specifically sci-fi oriented designs, is that you can't make really good sci-fi shaped things without adding like stupid little like grooves and other things, right? Sure, you probably could, but like if you want something that's like comfortable in somebody's hand, or, you know, you want something that looks sleek, you're going to go for this. But you know what people actually have? This is going to be a site. Look at any non-modern lightsaber. Specifically non-modern. Like this one. What is that? It's got all these like thin parts to it that feel like if, you know, you applied any amount of actual pressure to them, they'd break apart. You know, where are you supposed to comfortably put your hand on this? Same thing with Anakin's too, right? Where do you hold it specifically down here by this little bit? Do you hold it like along the whole bit? How long? How big is it? These are things that happen specifically in Star Wars, right? And these are little gweebles. And what happens is if you start applying too you know, again, this is within reason. If you start applying too much logic and too much like actual like, oh, a person has to hold this. Well, I'm going to go look at things that people have to hold. You end up with this. This is really boring. These feel really silly. Right? I mean, even look at this handle down here. This is such a basic handle. They're struggling to figure out how to design this. Meanwhile, these are just like repurposed tools and bits and bobs. You could go to a hardware store and like screw a bunch of things together and basically get this exact same shape. Is it going to be comfortable in your hand? No. So if you start thinking too much on the actual mechanics of how something works, you're entering into Star Trek. If you're thinking about how cool something is, you're in Star Wars. It depends on what you want to be doing specifically, but that's kind of the angle of it, right? Here, let's do my classic. You have the spectrum of nerddom, right? Over here you have Star Wars. Over here you have Star Trek. Right? This is your big arc. Somewhere along this line is something that you really like. I would put, because I know you like it specifically, I would put Titanfall closer to Star Wars than I would to Star Trek. Do you know why? Because Titanfall's just fucking cool. No one is like ripping apart and understanding the science of how Titanfall works. No one's doing that. No one's like breaking down how the little like knife that hacks into things, how that works. Nobody cares about that. No one's like, you know, batting an eye that like you can take like the headpiece off of the robot and plug it into a different robot, and that's like the whole memory core of a giant fuck you robot. Right? No one's questioning that. No one's questioning jump packs. Nobody's questioning parkour. Nobody's wondering about that. Nobody cares. That doesn't mean it's not cool. It's just cool. So, like, even closer to Star Wars, I would put one of my favorite movies, Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim has, like, logic behind why it works, but it's all there for the purpose of the story, right? Like, even the fact that, like, two people have to be piloting the giant mech together for the mental load of moving a giant mech or something, like, that's stupid inherently, but it's fun. Because it gives a reason why there's two pilots in one mech. And then you get a reason why they have to, like, build a relationship with each other. And it's, like, cool. And that's awesome. The closer you get to Star Wars, the less you start caring about these things. The closer you get to Star Trek, on the other hand, you start caring more about how these things actually work. Right? That's where... Oh, God. Can I even... Because I don't like stuff like that, so I don't engage with media that's like that. Star Trek is where you get things like The Martian. You know the one movie where he's like trapped on Mars based on the book, and he's like actually doing like real science. I would even put like Dr. Stone over here too, right? I know that's an anime, but like you watch those things less because they're fun fantasy stories, but more because they put the science and the logic behind how it works forward. Another way that you can actually explain this, and this might make a bit more sense because I'm predominantly work with, medieval angles and things like that, so I don't really work too much with sci-fi stuff. But the better way to put it is a soft magic system and a hard magic system. I hate hard magic systems, by the way. I hate them. I genuinely hate hard magic systems. I think soft magic systems are way superior. Because when you do soft magic systems before hard magic systems, you have actual magic to science, but dumb. That's a little hateful, but it's like true. Dungeon Meshi may be on a good... Oh, that's true. No, Dungeon Meshi is very true, actually. I would put it more like over here, like a little off the center. Because it does use like logic and things behind like its cooking and stuff, but like the actual like world building and everything else isn't as like crazy. Of hard to imagine. Okay, if you go watch Lord of the Rings, right? Go watch Lord of the Rings. Not saying to actually go watch Lord of the Rings. Can you tell me how the One Ring works? Can you tell me the specific way and specific reason it works? If you go read the whole fucking book, maybe. Can you go watch that one scene where Galadriel takes Frodo to the place with the little like mirror water, and she's like, look inside the mirror water, and he does, and he sees like a vision. Can you explain how that works? No, because it's magic. Magic isn't explainable. It's an ancient power that you cannot hold, nor touch, nor understand. It is for beings that are like more intelligent than you and more older than you to know how to use, and you just kind of experience it. Right? Hard magic systems. Can you tell me how Hunter x Hunter's system works? Can you tell me how Full Metal Alchemist's system works? I like Full Metal Alchemist though, even though it has a hard magic system. But that's because it's a hard magic system based in science and is upfront with you on it being a science. Can you tell me why Avatar, The Last Airbender, why they're able to bend elements? What is Hunter x Hunter? Oh my god, how are you? You are not helping your case right now. No wonder you haven't heard of these. Either of those examples? You guys are killing me right now. How am I supposed to actually explain this if you didn't? Okay. Soft magic system is there are no rules, fuck you, figure it out. Shit just happens, accept it. Hard magic system is we have science. I'm going to write a 10-page docu-series on how the magic system in this world works. You must take a PhD in this magic system to understand it. I hate hard magic systems. Full Metal, what? I hate hard magic systems because they are bound by rules, and those rules tend to be the most important thing. Think of any shonen you've ever watched and how they set up like rules and laws behind why characters can do what they do. That's dumb, and that's when you start hitting a point where like you start stretching things, when you start getting like power creep, right? That's like a huge problem that a lot of modern media has, is that this shit is what everybody wants because that's the easiest thing to make OCs out of. This is better for a narrative because you can do more shit with it and not have anybody give you any problems. That's why I describe soft magic as actual magic and hard magic as science, but dumb. Because think about it, right? If you went to a magic show, right? You're gonna go to like a magician, right? You're gonna go see like a magician at Vegas or something. And they go, check this out, and they pour like baking soda and whatever the other thing is to make a volcano erupt. Would you be impressed by that? Would you go, ooh, magic? Or just be like, that's like first grade science. Okay. And then they pull out like a bottle of Coke, and they like show you a Mentos, and they're like, now I shall make this can of Coke explode. And they throw the Mentos in, and then it explodes, and you're like, yeah, we know that's how that works, dude. Would JoJo be described as having a magic system? JoJo's got its own fucking can of worms going on, if I'm being so honest. JoJo's doing its own fucking... JoJo plays hard and fast with whatever the fuck it wants. I would say it's a hard magic system inside of a soft magic system. Where, like, any one stand just kind of has hard rules for what it can do, but stands themselves have no rules for what they can do. Like, okay, check this out. Ready? Let's see if this works. How does the One Ring work? An AI overview. The One Ring is the central artifact of J.R.R. Tolkien's Legendarium. Not true. Forged in the fires of Mount Doom by the Dark Lord Sauron, its singular purpose was to control the other rings of power and dominate the minds and wills of their bearers. Cool. Oh my god. Versus an analysis. A whole read again. Like, this isn't gonna entirely prove my point, but just the corpse of God while explaining it like it was just an anecdote. Yeah. No, JoJo is its own fucking beast, which is why it's good on like unironically. But again, this is why I prefer soft magic systems, is because when you have a soft magic system, you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want, and really the rule of cool presides. But giving something an explanation makes the most amount of sense, and that's kind of what you need at certain times, especially in shonens. Think of any shonen that you've probably ever watched. If you don't know what the fuck a shonen is, I'm going to punch you in the teeth. I'm not kidding. Holy shit. Shonen Jump is a Japanese manga made for young teenage boys, okay? It's pretty much any battle manga that you've ever seen in your life. Every single shonen immediately introduces you to the world by going, hello, I am cool adult character. Here is how our magic system work. Now you understand how magic system work, so go fight thing. And then like they go fight a thing, and it's like, oh no, this thing isn't abiding by the magic system? That doesn't make any sense. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. It's the worst shit. JJ liked explaining, oh my god, like I could not handle Jujutsu Kaisen's first episode. I was like, this is moving too fast. Where the fuck are we right now? Like, okay, if you've ever seen Chainsaw Man, soft magic system. We don't know where devils come from. We don't know why devils are a thing. We know that that devils and humans can enter contracts with each other, cool. And then devils can be whatever the fuck they want. Also cool. They don't sit you down and be like, the devils were born from within the confines of whatever the bullshit is, and then they did a gweeb guap, and then they came together, and then because of this, we are now able to make contracts with them because of the gweep gwoops and the bwap weeps. No, they don't do that. They go, nah, you're smart enough to understand that they're devils and that they can conform like contracts with people, and then we can make like kind of interesting stuff off that. We don't need to go into more fucking detail, but beyond that. And that also that becomes a harder question too further down the line, is like when you're trying to write something, you then have to stay within the confines of your hard magic system. Small example of this system to see where, sure. Also, this doesn't mean that hard magic systems are bad. I just don't like them because I don't think that they're magic. Brandon Sanderson is a horrible example of this, because he writes really good books, and he's like a really talented writer, but the bitch keeps doing hard magic systems, and I'm fucking tired of them. Because that's what most people seem to care about, is just by making magic systems. It's literally like trying to make your own card game. That's what people prefer doing rather than writing good stories. And instead of writing, I don't know, a good story that just so happens to have magic and powers in it, they instead make the whole thing about like the actual magic itself. That's like a huge trap that actually a lot of young artists and like writers fall into, is that they come up with this super cool fucking badass world, right? And they're like, oh yeah, and my character gets to do this, but it's because they can do this, so it makes them not overpowered, and they can do this and this and this, but it all makes sense within the magic system, so I have to explain the magic system. And then they spend like a fucking bajillion years explaining the stupid fuck ass magic system instead of actually getting to the cool parts of the story. I used to fall into this trap because my magic systems tended to like actually matter and have hard rules. And lately I have been leaning harder and harder and harder into like non hard magic systems. I just want cool ass shit. That's all I want nowadays, right? I don't want anything crazy. I don't want anything stupid. I just want cool stuff to happen. I mean, even all of the explanation behind how the gods work in Paladin is just an excuse for Elise and Ophelia to, like, bang without it being like, I'm actually 1 trillion years old. I'm not doing that. Or the planet becoming crystallized. Girl, you're just explaining Final Fantasy VII over there. That's just Final Fantasy VII. Is that not? I'll wait till you finish your thought, but like, that's FF7 right there. Another really important thing about soft versus hard magic systems is that they're not necessarily bad, or like either one is the better one of either. It doesn't matter. As long as whatever magic system you have actually services your story and plot and like what you're making and what you're doing. If you just have a magic system for the sake of having a magic system, that's stupid. Don't do that. If you have a magic system purely because you want people to make OCs off of your character, that's stupid too. Don't do that. I mean, I care about that kind of thing. Of course I want people to be able to make OCs out of things that I make, but like, has there been a story where the sci-fi is so advanced it winds up just being magic? Yeah. I mean, technically, that's also Guilty Gear. That's FF. Yeah, that's literally the plot of Final Fantasy VII. That's unironically what materia is in Final Fantasy VII. I'm not kidding. Mako is the lifeblood of the planet, and it crystallizes, and then it's like condensed and turned into materia, which is a crystallized version of Mako, and then it's used to cast spells and power electricity and shit. The other half as well. I mean, not your beat for beat examples, but pretty much you just explained Final Fantasy VII. Yeah. And Final Fantasy VII like did it good because it's an environmental message. Again, this is the part that I was getting at with like needing to make sure that your story actually like works with your magic system, is that Final Fantasy VII is a cautionary tale about like corporations stealing the lifeblood of the planet and turning it around and turning it into a product that they can then turn around and use to like hurt you and shit. And that's why materia is like the magic system in that game, is that it's like the whole point. And the whole reason you can use materia for magic, as they explain in the game, is because it's calling on the memories of the planet. It's also why the big bad of the game is the meteor materia, because it summons a meteor to basically wipe out all life on the planet, because that's like what the planet remembers when it became like a thing. Which is like Genova's whole mission goal and also like Sephiroth's whole deal. So, I mean, even Shinra to a degree kind of falls off to the wayside after the main like opening part of the story. I know we haven't gotten that far into the actual game yet. I know we only just made it to Calm. And we haven't played 7 in forever, but like that's the whole plot of the game, is that Shinra's just kind of the precursor to everything else going on about the like issues with the game. Similar bases, you guess? I mean, yeah. But like crystallized anything has always been like a thing. I did it, actually. Vanguard did it. What? I just didn't do Lifeblood of the Planet. It's just memories, that's all. I just did a different angle on it. So, always been a thing. But that would lean probably closer to hard magic, depending on how you handle it and explain it and how much importance it actually has. Again, it doesn't matter what your origin actually is, but like, I drift off for work, no problem, Hull. Yeah, I'm getting like way off to the wayside. Basically, the whole reason that even this is brought up in the first place, right, is that if you have like a super analytical brain, right, and you're gonna be like, I'm gonna make this as realistic as possible, you're going over to Star Trek land. And the problem with Star Trek land is if you change your mind or if something doesn't work out or you do something wrong, people are going to call you on it. Because that's the kind of people you're going to attract, is you're going to attract the people that like that kind of thing. So you have to be on your fucking toes about that shit. But if you just make dumb, fun shit and you lean more towards Star Wars, you're not going to have those people. You're going to have people that just enjoy the dumb, fun shit. You're going to have people that don't care if something explodes in the middle of space and makes a bunch of sound. You're going to have people that don't mind that, like, you know, people with laser swords can deflect blaster bolts at, like, perfect speed and do magic running speeds and, like, jump super high and do flips all over the place and, like, spin their swords at each other the whole time and do, like, really cool choreography. I, in my older age, want to be more Star Wars than Star Trek. I used to want to be Star Trek. I want to be Star Wars now. I'm not going to say don't do Star Trek. I'm going to say I don't want to do Star Trek. So when it comes to me drawing a gunblade, I don't care. I'm going to make cool shit. The thing is going to be cool because I want it to be cool. If that's your preference, that's your preference. I'm not going to tell you not to do one or the other. I'm just saying that I personally don't like them for obvious reasons. There are plenty of examples of good stories that have hard magic systems, but sometimes people put a little too much onus on them, and then they stop being fun and they become more of a study project. And I don't really like my, like, work being not fun. Again, the best way to think about it is, do you want a fan base like Star Trek or do you want a fan base like Star Wars? And I'm not saying that in regards to the fucking goofball chuds who, like, get mad that, like, Rey is a woman. Or the people that, like, take a picture of Star Wars and go like, oh my god, Rey has, like, tummy fat. Is she pregnant? Not knowing how, like, a woman's body works because they're fucking stupid. I mean, like, the people that were, like, fans of the prequel series all the way back in, like, the early 2000s. Alright, this has so much junk going on, but I like the shape of the blade. Wait a second. Hold on a mo. I think I have my answer. Hold on, Mo. Because if we do this, we just put that blade over it. That as big as possible. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, let me duplicate this really quick before I start modifying anything. Yeah. 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 So what if I took this? That. Go down like this. I think I got rid of that part when I did the full version. I'm gonna get rid of the dip, but I'm gonna keep this part. I'm gonna go down. Yeah. How do you make something without rules or guidelines? You make it fit the story. That's probably not the answer that you want, but that's how it goes. Think of it like think of like a fairy tale, any fairy tale. Think of like Rumpelstiltskin, right? Why does knowing his name like matter? Why is that how they defeat him? I mean, pretty much, yeah. Why does King Arthur drawing Excalibur mean that he's the King of England? Why does that happen? How does that magic work? Like, how does the magic of the stone, like the sword and the stone, work? How does that work? How does the magic of Sleeping Beauty being put to sleep like work? How does that work? How come the fairy godmother is one, a fairy godmother, and also able to turn a pumpkin into a carriage? How is she able to do that? Okay, see, I know you're doing a bit, but I'm trying to, like, genuinely answer your question. How did Moses' staff turn into a snake? Like, how did that work? I'm gonna have like a go very quickly. I'm gonna have a very deep go. To require rules for a magic system means that you're not creative enough to come up with just magic in general. It's a crutch. I don't like this. God, yeah, how does God's magic work? Because it used to just be shit happen. Things used to have like mysticism and magic to it, right? You didn't know how stuff worked. That's what made it magic. It's the mystery. It's the intrigue. It's the curiosity. Again, it's the difference between, like, how do you put it? Also, I do not like this song. What is this? Where is it even? Oh, it's archived. That's why. Here, we'll do this one. If your story needs a textbook document on how its magic system works, You care more about the magic system than you do about the narrative of your world. Feels like a... I mean, it's generally kind of true, though. You didn't even know about this concept like 5 minutes ago. Not to throw that in your face, but it's like true. And once you start like picking it apart and realizing it, you'll see it all over the place. Some of the weakest pieces of media and like genuinely some of the like worst kind of stories tend to have very, 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 very hard set rules for their universe. Their magic system is its own document. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that's bad or that all of them are bad or that hard magic systems are bad. What I'm saying that is that more often than not, they are not good parts of a story. All right, well, now you're just kind of putting yourself down. That's not really cool. I'm not really vibing with that right now. Anya, you need to learn, okay? That's like the biggest thing right now. This is like a really basic like story thing, right? This is like creative writing 101, admittedly. And I'm not giving you shit because you don't know it, but this is something that you clearly need to go study. And this is like a larger conversation, and it's I'm arguing with the donkey right now, not to put you in the donkey's shoes, but it's like you only just learned how to like add two numbers together. Do you think me trying to tell you how like multiplication works is gonna go over well? Probably not. And I don't want to like steer you away from doing things that you find fun or enjoyable or that you're gonna like doing or working on. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm saying from my perspective, and on top of that, as somebody who has studied this, gone to school for this, has been doing this with the intent of making it their profession for upwards of like 16 years, that this is how I look at things and how I view them. You can have your own opinion. You can totally form your own opinion. Go right fucking ahead. I do not mind one bit. But you can't form an opinion on something you just learned about. You haven't even like gone out and like seen it in real time or like understood it. You haven't even seen like some of the most basic like examples I could give. Didn't know how to word, but I just had to like I'm fighting with you to get you to understand this right now. I'm literally fighting with you right now because you're like you're throwing this back in my face, and it's like you're not listening to me right now, and you have every right not to listen to me, but like you at the same time have to like kind of, I don't know, presumably understand where I'm coming from. If there's some kind of gap in what I'm saying, absolutely call me on it. I'm fine with that. I don't like if I'm not doing a good job explaining this to you, that's fine. What I'm trying to get across to you is little old me over here, and basically all of my content, because you'll notice I talk about it all the time. I prefer narrative. I want everything to serve the narrative. If there is a story to be told, I want it to serve the narrative. If there is something going on, it has to serve the narrative. I don't like little things that happen on the side that don't then serve the narrative. Okay? That's my take. Because I am not some big studio. I'm not. I'm a little baby creator over here, right? And I need to make something fast, snappy, quick to understand, quick to move on with, quick to just get. I need to make stuff quick. I need to make stuff fast. Because if I don't, people don't care. It's harder to get stuff off the ground that way. That's where I come from with this. right? That's why I do this. I have a wildly different perspective than you. Right? But at the same time, soft magic systems make the narrative easier to work with. They just do. Because guess what? I don't have to halt everything. I don't have to screech the whole narrative to a halt to then go, well, you see, and then have a character turn to the screen and be like, when you use fire, you're actually using molecules that are in the air to then turn the fire into fire in your hand, but it doesn't burn you because of the mana that you have in your body, which is because of an organ in your body. I'm not doing any of that. She get cool big sword that shoot thing, call it end of day. People go, ooh, big sword, me happy with this. And then we move on. You want to see it in real time? You want to see it in real time? Because you did it. You did the thing. Unironically, you have done the thing, and you have engaged with this system without even questioning it. You want to see where you engage with this system without even questioning it? When I was working on this, did anybody ever go, so that armor guy, yeah? How does he like move? How does that work? How does he move? Is it like a ghost? Or is the plant like sentient? Or how is he able to hold the sword? How much tensile strength does he have in his hand there to be able to hold that sword? No, nobody did that. Why? Because they go, ah, cool. Like an overgrown, possessed, like, knight dude. And they're fighting. Cool. Nobody did that. Soft magic system. Serves the plot. Serves the point. No other explanations needed. No other bullshit required. Very simple. Oh, there's a cat in here. Cat wants to be let out. Definitely not a mollusk. Oh God, no. Nah, he would not. He would make a better salad than he would a seafood platter. And this is the exact same thing that happens when it comes to design as well. Right? That's where all of this whole fucking bullshit even started from, was talking about design first and foremost, right? Is that, do I really need to sit the audience down and say, okay, this is the chamber that houses shells within it that withhold mana, so that mana can then be charged and then shot through this little condenser here into this filing, which is then linked by the Gubagaba that then goes into the blade and allows different variety of spells to be utilized? Or do I just go, it's a gun sword that shoots magic, fuck off? Makes it hard. I think you're just fucking up the words. I think you're like really focusing on the wording of soft magic system and hard magic system. All right, you know what? Scratch that, because apparently you lack the ability to understand it. Okay, we're gonna scratch that. Instead, what we're going to do is, do you have magic or do you have science? That will make more sense to your brain. If you go to a show, if you go to a magician show, like the example I gave earlier, and they wiggle their hands in front of you and they show you your card that you like put in your pocket or something, right? That's magic. Sure, there might be some actual trick behind it. Right? There's some kind of gimmicky thing behind how that works. But to your dumb, stupid animal brain, they just made your card appear out of thin air. You didn't even know how it works. Go watch any Penn and Teller fucking how you do it kind of bullshit magic, right? Even if it's just sleight of hand, even the most simple of card tricks. It's illusion, it's magic. It's the whole point of magic. The more rules and the more like formulas you can follow, the closer you get to a science. But the problem is when you lean more and more and more into a science, it becomes harder for you to handle writing around. Unless that science is hard baked into your actual narrative, like Full Metal Alchemist. Magic system isn't just one magic trick, but it... Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. Hey, why does Sting glow when orcs or goblins are nearby? Can you tell me the specific reason as to why it does that? Or does it just do that? Why does Bilbo's ring turn him invisible? Does it just maybe do that because it's a magic item that turns him invisible? You don't really need to think about why that's happening? Do we need to think about how the wood elves are able to just kind of meld into the trees and sneak away, or how hobbits are just naturally able to not be seen by shit? They're like, don't see me. How does Gandalf start fires with the acorns? How does he do that? How does he start a fire? He doesn't have like a flint and tinder. He starts like blowing on them and they set on fire, and then he hucks them. Fireball. Right? That is a soft magic system. Through and through. Yes, J.R.R. Tolkien went back and started adding a bunch of extra shit on top of it to actually explain all of these interesting characters and all the things going on. But realistically, you don't need any of that to read and enjoy The Hobbit. You don't. You do not need to go read the whole fucking, simulacrum or whatever the fuck it's called to enjoy The Hobbit as a story. And the whole time you're reading it, you're never going to ask yourself, well, why does this mithril chain shirt be able to serve, be the most impenetrable chain shirt and never be damaged ever? That doesn't make any sense. That's not how that works. But then if you turn around, right, and you look at, I don't know, something like, like what? Oh, if you just turn around to something like Game of Thrones, which oddly enough has a magic system, but it's stupid. Like Game of Thrones' magic system is just weird. It's another soft magic system. So that was actually a really bad example. I'm now realizing. What has another magic system? And again, I'm saying magic system, right? I'm not saying world. I'm not saying world building. I'm saying magic system, right? How does the magic or power system in a given narrative work in the story? How many times in a shonen have you had somebody sit down with the character and be like, this is how this thing works? Happens way more often than you realize. No. Congrats on being original. You have wind crystals in it. Well, kind of, yeah, there you go. Again, I'm not doing this as this is a Sydney original concept. This is a thing that's in all media. There's like hundreds of videos on this shit. Actually, here. Here. Let me see if I can't find it. Let's find it. Let's look together, shall we? Lord of the Rings soft magic system. Oh, here you go. Oh, here, actually, I think this is the video I watched.
After his journey, he speaks to his psychological wounds that never truly heal. There is no real going back. Though I may come to the Shire, it will not seem the same, for I shall not be the same. I am wounded with knife, sting, and tooth, and a long burden. Where shall I find rest? Eventually, Frodo would pass
Not gonna
into
watch the whole
west
things.
in hopes to heal and find peace from carrying the burden of the One Ring and the deep trauma that came with his experiences. This emotional beat in The Lord of the Rings speaks to Tolkien's experiences as part of the generation that emerged from World War I, with high rates of PTSD following the traumatic experiences of war. But it's also an example of a soft magic system in action, a magic system with few rules or limitations, and it epitomizes what I feel is an often dismissed unique strength about them. People these days often see hard magic systems as better than soft, but this is a defense of soft magic systems.
They're better.
The exact rules around the magic of the One Ring beyond it turning hobbits invisible are largely ambiguous. We know it draws Nazgul, can prolong life, it has an addictive power, but its most important property is that it worms its way into the mind of whoever carries it and those around them. Frodo seemed to be wary to the point of exhaustion. He said nothing. Indeed, he hardly spoke at all.
Right, and I'm trying
He
to
did not
elaborate
complain,
for you,
but he walked like one
Anya.
who
I'm
carries a
trying
load.
to help
wanted
you
to
understand
push
where I'm
his
coming
worries.
from.
The thing is, this important magical property of the One Ring is pretty soft. And this isn't a criticism, by the way, just an observation. Tolkien never set out to define this effect with any strict rules the way Brandon Sanderson might. It doesn't affect people consistently in the same way, either in how it tempts them or the powers it gives them. There aren't defined methods that the characters can use to resist it, and you can't necessarily quantify the effects that it has on ring bearers psychologically and emotionally, not in easy terms, hence why Tolkien opted for the somewhat vague line, "I am wounded with a long burden." But that's kind of the point, isn't it? Because the emotional beats of Frodo's story here aren't really about the magic. It's about trauma and the difficulty of returning to your old life even when it's over. It's an example of what we'll call the psychological tension in a story. The immersive experience of Frodo's personal journey with the ring is about how it torments him, how he comes to need and love this thing that he knows that he should hate, and how even when it's gone, even though he's relieved, he says, "It is gone forever, and now all is dark and empty." He defined himself by the One Ring for so long, and now it's gone. Defining the magic of how the One Ring worms its way into the mind of ring bearers with hard rules would undermine that more complex and grounded experience, because trauma itself and dealing with it doesn't neatly abide by hard rules, and soft magic better supports that thematically. Magic here is being used to tell a different kind of story, a different kind of emotional beat and tension. Now, the usual justification for preferring hard magic systems is something along the lines of, I want magic to be a tool that the reader and characters can use to logically solve problems with. And this is usually compounded with a criticism of soft magic systems along the lines of, having characters use magic inexplicably robs the story of tension and payoff. And these are good points to make, I've made them myself. But they're not necessarily always true. A major mechanic in Don't Nod's 2015 game Life is Strange is that the player character, Max Caulfield, can rewind time. This little spiral here tells you how much you can rewind, and you can use it to solve problems and redo conversations in the story. But it's an oddly soft mechanic for such a large part of the game. The little spiral might tell you how much you can rewind, but the exact amount of time it allows you to control changes from scene to scene. There are some moments where you can't rewind at all of a sudden, and throughout the game, sometimes random new powers come to you at pretty convenient times that don't naturally arise from the rules established beforehand. The clearest example of this is at the end of episode 2, where you intervene to save Kate Marsh from taking her own life. You arrive at school and you see her atop the building. Now, under the usual magical game mechanics the player would rely on, you can't move while rewinding time, but Max suddenly finds herself able to do this in order to reach the top of the building, and depending on which answers you now choose here, you push her closer to the edge or you draw her back, and under usual magical game mechanics, you can rewind time when you pick a wrong answer, but you suddenly find yourself unable to use your powers this time. In the past she just fainted, but she never lost her powers, and this problem doesn't really ever come up again. A lot of authors would see these as red flags of bad writing, and within Brandon Sanderson's emphasis on predictability and consistency, that would be fair. If the reader, or in this case the player, can't rely on clear magic rules to solve problems, then obstacles can seem random, and plot resolution can feel cheap, and successes unearned. But much like how those emotional beats of Frodo's story were never about the magic of the One Ring, the emotional beats of Life is Strange were never about time travel. Life is Strange explores suicide, abuse, depression, and other social problems, and the narrative tension arises from you trying to navigate these issues, to make the right choice without knowing what the full ramifications might be down the line. Like before, these are psychological tensions. Having a hard magic system with a defined cause and effect play a major role in resolving these complex issues would undermine the thematic importance of these issues in the first place. Much like how Tolkien knew that you can't logically solve Frodo's trauma, you can't logically solve Kate's suicidality, Chloe's self-destructive tendencies, or Nathan's abuse with clear and defined rules. In contrast, Life is Strange's soft and inconsistent magic system ensured that the narrative weight remained on your choices, which are complicated and difficult to make, much like the very issues that the stories are addressing. And the magic system changes and evolves where it needs to best explore those issues, and that's what's important in this story. If you manage to get Kate down off that roof, it's not because of your clever exploitation of the magic system, it's because you paid attention throughout the story and you managed to talk someone down. And that carries a lot more emotional weight. Likewise, if you fail to get Kate down off that roof, it's not because you didn't manage to use the magic system correctly. Compare this to hard magic stories, where characters often solve major problems in the narrative with creative uses of the magic system. In Brandon Sanderson's The Well of Ascension, an army of creatures called the Colossus become a massive problem in the book, and the narrative tension builds around restraining them and controlling them until Vin manages to use the Allomantic magic system to control them by burning a particular metal, something the readers could have figured out. And there's a massive narrative payoff when she does that, because the tension is resolved in a way that the story naturally built towards. A large part of the immersion in these stories comes from what we'll call the fantastical tension that we can't see in other genres, figuring out the magic system alongside the characters, having tension built around and resolved by it. And that's okay, but it's a different kind of narrative setup and payoff. When it comes to storytelling, soft magic is better suited to support psychological tensions in a story, while hard magic is better suited to support fantastical tensions. This is not to say that they can't do the reverse, not at all, but I think that this is where each of their strengths lie. They serve different roles in the narrative, this being one of them. And the strength in soft magic extends beyond mental illness. I use that as an example because it's what I read and what I write. But it fits just the same for any other abstract ideas or themes or tensions that aren't fantastical, like relationships or politics. I prefer soft magic because I find stories that are first and foremost about those issues and only secondarily about the fantasy more emotionally engaging. And I understand that that's personal for me. I look to fiction to process and reflect on my own problems, both in what I read and what I write. That's actually why I enjoy The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness so much, because it's got a soft magic edge to it, but it's fundamentally about anxiety and what the hell it means to be an adult. How we explore this stuff in fiction matters. It can help people, but I think we should do more than that. And that's why, on December 6th, I'm going to be doing my first ever charity livestream for 24 hours straight. No sleep, right here on YouTube. And every cent will go to Crisis.
He says that like it's a hard thing to
the
do.
Finale of their Get Out the Number campaign. My only sustenance will be energy drinks and your donations. And to make this work, I will be personally matching every donation up to $1,000. So until then, every dollar you donate is worth double. I chose Crisis Text Line because I'm a counsellor with a similar organisation here in New Zealand, and I know the difference that they make.
Was that the whole bit?
People safe. To those.
Yeah, that's like the end of the video. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that did a better job explaining it than I did. No, Pret, you got a good point there, is that, like, hard magic systems are better for actual video games because, of course, you need rules for people to understand how to play a game. Is my music playing? It is. Okay. So anyways, I'm like happy that I did this, but like I'm kind of, I don't know. It's the gunblade. I just can never do it. The only gunblade design that I've ever liked, and I hated drawing it, was the one from Vanguard. I really, really like this one. But it no work with this. I mean, it kind of does. But it's whatever. That's better. I said burp.
Freddy
Thank you,
Fun's
Brett.
Bear Jump Scare.
Okay. The jump scare is actually $75, but that works. Surprised that it actually didn't get me. Maybe. We'll see. Oh, today is going to be a lot of work. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I think I just want to work on Paladin. Who knows, maybe tomorrow will actually be our boring sound design day, I think. Especially since I have Adobe Animate again, so I can go back in and fix some stuff up. Kind of wanted to make the fight scene longer. I feel like it was very short. So I feel like I would want to work on that again. At least compared to the rest of the film. So that might be what we end up doing tomorrow. Last time I did sound design, I didn't even do sound design. but I would like to work on some of those cute animations I've talked about before. Like giving out like a proper walk-in like animation. I think I also want to go into definitely a few things I need to do. Other way. Actually, I really like this one. This one's really pretty. I can actually hear birds outside. Hey, chair. tonight. Not tonight, but this weekend we're gonna do like a big final push to get Paladin done. Yeah, just take pictures. You're going to a Ren Fair. Take pictures of the Ren Fair. If you want. That one's up to you. Oh, thank you. That actually makes me happy. Just center these. I actually really like this one right here. This one's really cute. Put the sword like there and let it rest. It's kind of cute. Technically, it'd be like a little higher up. It's like a cute little way for her to hold that. I'm gonna have to rotate this though. Like that. There we go. cute little pose. I do think, though, I am gonna follow Anya's example, actually. As these are cute, but I'm definitely feeling not necessarily tired, more so like I want to skip ahead. I want to go hit that that wait button. You know what I mean? I don't know. Every once in a while, I have to try to redesign her to realize how much I actually just really like this. Because I really do like this. I think this is probably one of my more favorite designs, actually. So yeah, I know it was short and we didn't really do anything that I wanted to do, but you know what? I think it needed to happen for me to feel more confident working on Paladin again. Because I really like these. These come out really cute. I'm just gonna scoot these two down really quick. Squeak. But it is like 4:30 in the morning, so I should probably go lay down. Especially if tomorrow's gonna be another 12-hour stream. Oh boy, thank God Pocket gave me money yesterday for fucking coffee. Am I right or am I right? So thank you for hanging out. Even though it was very short-lived, barely even 3 hours, not even. But I'm glad to have doodled. Glad I got to talk about hard magic systems and soft magic systems and design bullshit, and glad I got to go through and remind myself why I don't like doing sci-fi stuff. So I hope everybody has a good rest of your day/night. We will be back here in approximately 8 hours from now at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you somehow managed to survive that far, come on back and we'll be doing some film work. I'll be retouching some animation, and then we'll also be doing sound design to wrap up the film. Tomorrow will be a big push to finish up the film. Kind of excited for that. So that's it from me. No howl, because some people are probably sleeping, but one final little wow just before we go to bed. All right. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you in like 8 hours. Go get some sleep.